morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching.
Hello.
Hello. Are you all well?
Oh, wonderfully well. The sun's shining, the sky is blue, and we're sat in our study recording a blog.
We are. It'll be a good one, though. Won't be as intellectual as others, but we'll give it a go. Oh, sorry, I'm accusing you two of not being intellectual, of course. It'll be very intellectual with you two. If they're looking for intellect, then...
Is intellectual a compliment or not?
Carrie, you obviously don't know me well enough yet. Oh, well, there we are. So all is good and all is fun. Chris, I understand you're going off to have a nice long walk this afternoon.
I am going for a nice long walk.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Looking at the beach along Weymouth.
It'll be good.
From a golf course.
If you're looking for the beach in Weymouth, you've lost your ball, I would suggest.
Don't fall over the cliff.
Not that I know much about
carefully.
golf, Chris, as you can tell, but I'd have thought if you're looking at the beach, you're in trouble.
I have put a ball in the sea playing Bridport Golf Club.
Have you really? How many points do you get docked for that?
You only lose 2 points for it. As long as you miss all the people sunbathing on the beach.
Well, there is that.
But bear in mind, it was something like a force 7 gale.
And then do you have to stand with your face in the cliff, dropping the little ball over your shoulder or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
and roll your left trouser leg up.
You make sure you don't drop it into some dog poo or something. I don't know, Chris. What we get up to, eh?
I think Bridport Golf Club must be highly dangerous. Not only, to people on the beach, but you've also got the footpath wending its way.
Yes,
haven't you?
The footpath has got quite a controversial issue because since they closed the actual coast path, the footpath goes right through the middle of the golf course, which is just in this summer it just puts too much traffic on it. And it makes it difficult to play.
I bet.
Because the footpath has right of way. Although in COVID, I did have some people walk along the footpath, sat in the middle of the fairway, and got a picnic out.
Oh no, that's really unfair.
Are they classed in the scorecard as an immovable object or what, Chris?
Are you asking me to infer something about their size?
No, I'm asking about, because if you hit them, you don't. If it's an immovable object or something, there's something in the rules about you don't lose points or something, isn't there?
You can move if it's a man-made object. You can move it usually.
So they were. What about a god-made? What about a god-made object? Can you get the same?
Well, then it's immovable, isn't it?
In that case, that's true.
So
I'm sensing some lament here, David. You're obviously getting close to the end of the cricket season because you're starting to apply all your umpiring, in another direction towards golf.
Oh, no. You never catch me being as silly as that. I'm sorry. No. I can find plenty of other things to do other than cricket. I've reduced, actually, the amount of umpiring this year because I haven't done any evening league umpiring at all this year.
Have you missed it?
No. No. Well, no, because the reason I gave up was because obviously things, with Jane aren't always well. So, evenings in the house of the clergy person, as we all know, can be precious at times.
You didn't turn to umpiring in the evenings at home?
No.
Telling Jane that she's bowled away.
I left the dog to do that.
David does all the umpiring he needs to do as rural dean.
No, as vicar of 14 parishes in the Beaminster Team. That's the skill, believe me. Right, Chris, a bit of Hebrews. We're going to continue from last week's thoughts.
Yeah, I'm reading from Hebrews chapter 11.
Yeah.
So by faith the people passed through the Red Sea as if they were dry land. But when the Egyptians attempted to do so, they were drowned.
They were.
By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after they'd been encircled for 7 days. By faith, Rahab the prostitute did not perish with those who were disobedient, because she had received the spies in peace. And what more should I say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, obtained promises, and shut the mouths of lions, quenched raging fire, escaped the edge of the sword, won strength out of weakness, became mighty in war, and put foreign armies to flight. Women received their dead by resurrection. Others were tortured, refusing to accept release in order to obtain a better resurrection. Others suffered mocking and flogging, and even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned to death, they were sawn in two, they were killed by the sword, they went about in skins of sheep and goats, destitute, persecuted, tormented, and of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and mountains and in caves and holes in the ground. Yet all these, though they were commended for their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God had provided something better, so that they would not, without us, be made perfect. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who, for the sake of the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and has taken his seat at the right hand of the throne of God.
Wow.
There you go. Powerful stuff, Faith.
All the way from Moses down to the Maccabean revolts, what, Chris?
Oh, yeah, you don't need to go and read the Old Testament because you've got it all summarised there.
All there, exactly.
Although I think it might inspire you to read certain bits of the Old Testament.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would start to put you in the realms of an academic again.
Oh, dear.
This is the problem, Chris. We are amongst academic women. This is the problem.
Oh, I know. All these clever people that like to study stuff and know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I think what's amazing about this is if ever you think, gosh, being a Christian gives you an easy life. This passage certainly, indicates that's not the case.
Yeah, you can imagine some of them saying, hang on a bit, this isn't what I signed up for. I thought this Christian stuff was going to be good and easy.
That long list about, mouths of lions and fire and all of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Christian life is easy, isn't it? I mean, we only work 1 day a week as ordained clergy.
And Chris, you're not delineating between the life of a Christian minister and the rest of the flock who toil below.
Oh, of course I'll get all that wrong.
With the greater cloud of witnesses.
Of course I'm going to confuse it all.
Oh, you're in troublesome mood today, Chris, I can tell.
I had a really interesting discussion yesterday. I was taking a confirmation class session with 2 adults, and we were starting to go through the Creed, the Apostles' Creed, and we were talking about just at the beginning of it, I believe, what belief is and what faith is, and we had actually discussions along these lines. What does being a Christian mean in the context of our broken world? It doesn't protect us from things that go wrong, and it doesn't protect us actually from unanswered prayer. We had a long discussion about unanswered prayer, and again, this passage addresses that.
Yeah, I've always said, if there's one thing Christianity must do, and that has an equally valid message for the person in trouble, going through a really hard time or dying or whatever, as somebody who's doing well. It's not a gospel just for those who are being blessed by God. It's got to be a gospel for the Ukrainian soldier on the front line. It's got to be a gospel for the people in Gaza. It's as much as it is for all of us that have got life reasonably well at the moment. And if Christianity isn't as valid for everyone, then it doesn't actually have much use, if you see what I mean. And I think that's almost what some of these things are talking about. When you're faced with a lion, where do you put your trust? Is your trust in God? And if nothing else, God looks after you in the next kingdom rather than this. The number of times every funeral we take, so and so is now free from worry or free from pain and worry and now at peace with God.
And that idea of looking to Jesus and setting your sights on Jesus, keeping your sights on Jesus, whatever else is going on, whatever quagmire you're in, and the comfort of the great cloud of witnesses, the people who've gone on before, the people who follow on, and the fact that we are a community, the communion of saints, the community of believers, past, present, and future, and across the world. That's so important in our faith.
I think it's also important, and I found myself saying last week, and probably will say again because I'm in different places, and I pick up this idea of faith, is that I don't know about you, and I'm quite happy to own up, at times my faith is severely tested. Severely tested. We trust in God, quite rightly. We're told that He hears and answers prayer. But I've prayed for all kinds of things over the last few months, quite earnestly and in true faith. And you step back and you think, well, what's happening? I've asked Him to stop people killing each other in Russia and Ukraine. I've asked Him to stop all the situation in Gaza or Sudan and problems in our own lives. And we're very good at talking. Problem is, we're not very good at being attentive and listening to what He has to say in answer, are we? If we're not careful, and that's part of the deal with relationship with God. Whilst we talk, we also have to be able to listen to His answer or His talk back. But it doesn't stop our faith from being challenged.
And sometimes the answer is the cross. The answer is that there's Jesus on the cross, suffering and enduring it, and as it says here, disregarding its shame.
It's also about something that was picked up, I think, in last week's reading, Chris, the Hebrews, that faith is also about hope, isn't it? It's about hope and trust in something that you have no ultimate proof or belief in, but in your own inner heart and being that it is true. And that's why you and I would suggest, are quite happy to live our lives in a role that teaches and shares and encourages and walks alongside people in that trust and hope in a God that we ultimately have never seen, but we believe to be there and true.
Yeah, and that hope is the hope of the cross, because of course the cross isn't the last. The dying on the cross is not the end of the story. It's the resurrection.
Yeah.
And the reading ends, doesn't it? With Jesus taking His seat at the right hand of the throne of God.
You're going to say, Chris?
And all of us being reunited with the great witnesses that have gone before.
I was going to say, actually, I think, we look to the cross, but if there's one privilege of this job is, you say you have doubts in your faith. Well, we do. That enables us to walk alongside people.
Yeah.
Because we meet people every day going through tough times of life. How can God allow this? Why can God do this?
Yeah.
And we feel the same because we see it on such a big scale sometimes. Sometimes we're really buoyed up in our faith and our belief in God, and we can really feel close to Jesus. And other times we're going through the dark night of the soul and are feeling the absolute desolation of something, and we're sitting there battling it, ourselves. Of course we do as priests. It wouldn't be faith. It wouldn't be faith if it was certainty and there all the time.
And that's part of
the people like that and walking alongside people, I think, enables us to be.
And that's part of the scripture, isn't it? Our weakness is our strength.
Sorry.
Go on, Kelly. No, you carry on.
Well, there's something about us also striving to be the same, to have that constancy of Jesus, from one moment to the next, because in our job, in our roles, we can be with somebody at the most profound moment of joy, and then literally the next meeting, in the next 10 minutes, you're with somebody in the deepest of despair. And actually, the hope is still the same. The hope and the joy, if you're sort of looking at Jesus, is still that constant same. But at the same time, pastorally, it feels very, very different, because you want to be with the person you're with in the moment, relating to them in the unique way that they need. And God meets us absolutely where we are, in whatever range of emotions we're going through. So there's something about the changing nature of us and the world around us and the constancy of God.
Yeah, and that's the privilege of priestly ministry, isn't it? Yeah, we are invited into people's lives at the most tragic and the most exciting and times, and yes, but it doesn't stop the vulnerability of being human that we have as well. And I think it's important that people do see occasionally that vulnerability, because that is part of the hope and the faith in the cross. How many times have you said it? How many times have you, like me, said at a funeral, I have no ultimate proof about where Father George is now lying or being, but what I hope and what I understand and what God tells me is this, and that's the hope that we hold on to, and that's the path forward. I often say that I can't prove there's any heaven, because the day they had the trip to heaven when I was at Cudston, I was away. I didn't get there, so I've never. I can't actually prove it.
David, yeah. You were on top of the Holy Hill.
I was. That was the good thing about it, the Holy Hill. But
day trip to heaven.
It's all this about faith. Faith is about trusting and hoping in something that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
But we believe from our hearts, and from what we understand, we believe it to be the way forward, and it is the hope of the cross and all that means and brings to us that is vital. That passage at the very end you read about the greater cloud of witnesses, I remember was one of the first essays we had to write when I was at theological college. I can't remember what the question was, but
you've written an essay on it. Blimey, you're the expert.
No, I got the essay out the other morning just to look at it in advance. Just, dear viewer, if you think I don't prepare for this moment, you're sorely mistaken. And I thought, did I really write that rubbish?
What did you write? Come on, you've got to tell us now.
Oh, I can't remember. It's back in the folder now, about to go in the bin. But when you first go to theological college and you've not had a particularly theological background, other than that you've been a good church person, and somebody at a panel thinks you've got hope for the future in ministry, you sit and you write this, and when you look at it now, you think, how the Lord has helped and developed me and brought me on.
I still want to know what it said. You can't tantalise us.
Oh, I think it's over there somewhere. I can't think it's out of the shelf again. You can have a look. It was well. It's what you'd expect. Whatever commentary or book I use, it's what it said. But there we are. But yes, greater cloud of witnesses. That's us, isn't it? In the future. And I think the key thing is that we've got to continue to be that greater group of people witnessing to God today, and not be put off by all of the doubts and the sorrows or the excitement. And there we are. Faith, hope, trust in God.
So that's a reading that's taken us in all sorts of directions.
It is, Chris. It is.
And we didn't even get onto the subject of, all these Old Testament stories and characters and.
No, that's
if
modern
you-
day journalism, isn't it? Modern day journalism. You just got to give people a hook to click on it and go into greater depth.
Well, they should put hyperlinks into the reading, the online reading.
Look,
So
you could take that up as a job, Callie. You could be the person to do
I've
it.
got plenty of other things to do.
Perhaps we can ask Harry to put some hyperlinks into the story of Moses and the history of the Maccabean revolt. There, Harry, put the hyperlink in. We'd love you to do so. Dear viewer, just look up on your Google search Maccabean revolt. It's very good.
My brain is just thinking, I dread to think where the hyperlinks Harry puts in will take us.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have a lot of fun with that, couldn't he?
He could. There we are. Anyway, all is good stuff. Now, next week, Chris, we've got a problem.
No, we haven't got a problem. We've got the Melplash show.
Yeah, are you going to do a broadcast live from the Melplash show, are you?
Well, we did try once, didn't we? And it failed miserably.
Miserably failed, yes. Exactly what I'm thinking.
So you might have to come and see us in person at the Melplash show.
Yeah, they could do.
Well, me, because I'm the only one there, aren't I?
Well, of this group, yeah. But
I'm going to Greenbelt.
Yeah, perhaps you and I, Chris, could do something while we're putting the tents up on Tuesday afternoon. We could do a kind of conversation on, tents. There must be a biblical reference to tents, mustn't there?
Lots of biblical references to tents.
I know, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so there we are. And by the way, I've got the special banners from the diocese, dear viewer. There are some special diocesan banners which will be on show at the Melplash show tent next week.
Oh. Marvellous. Making Jesus known.
Yeah, I think
got
so.
That one.
Good.
Yeah. Now, these are the ones we've seen at conferences, dear viewer. We see these banners, that pictures of people who've been called by the Lord, and, I think I haven't looked at them.
I feel honoured to be in the company of such famous banners.
They are very famous.
An illustrious cloud of witnesses.
And again, thanks to Harry that fetched them and passed them on to Joe, who passed them on to me, who's going to pass them on to Chris. They'll be there at the Melplash show for you to go and see. Oh. Just get there early, otherwise you'll be queuing for hours and hours and hours to get down the road into West Bay.
Lovely. I hope it goes well. I'm sorry to listen.
Excellent. We may see you in some form or another, tented or untented, next week, dear viewer, for a quick 2 or 3 minutes talk. Chris will look up all the references to tents and give them to Harry as hyperlinks for our conversation.
What a technical rural dean we've got.
Can I just ask, Chris, what's a hyperlink?
You spoilt it. There's everybody thinking, rural dean is really high tech.
Have you not turned it off yet, Chris? I'm sorry. Viewer, good to see you.
Good to see you all.
Bye.